It's a very different draft from Among Us. Neon, a bit more straightforward. They're off a high from getting a nice win in game one. We'll see if they can maintain it in game
See
number
you
2.
later, nerds.
Certainly so. Speaking of, if you are a Neon fan after that game one, they are on Twitter, so maybe go ahead and give them a follow. Neon Esports DOTA is the tag on Twitter. Among Us, unfortunately, don't have one, but you should probably follow all the players separately. They are very talented, obviously. Like, I do wonder to myself when we finish every day where these players are going to be going. Like, we know Arbed's part of a team, Savage is going to VG Gaming. What happens to Cuckoo, Jabs, and Whitemon, however, I wonder. Like, which team's going to get lucky enough to pick up these guys? Because they're obviously amazing players. Like, you'd be kind of stupid not to take them right now.
Yeah, and it's the question hanging in the air, right? Once Pro Series S3 is over, I think C is going to see a little bit of a shuffle once more.
Oh, for sure.
You eye some rosters, Mike, some teams, especially in the groups right now, that aren't doing too well. I think a lot of teams will have some people moving around, so it's going to be an interesting time right after. And we were already in for an interesting time before. I mean, Geek Fam gone, you know? That's mainly the cause of this. To be quite frank, it's Geek Fam releasing their roster, sort of making these shuffles happen across the team. So it's been an interesting fallout from that. You know, it's really affected that tier 2, tier 1 scene. The lines have blurred a lot from all of these players moving around, and a lot of more teams get to shine, especially here in the group stages. We've seen a lot of upset victories. We've seen some players step up. It's been a really good time.
I think what's happening, John, especially during this pandemic with all these tournaments popping up online, is we're really starting to see the value of the tier 2 scene. And I think it's becoming increasingly obvious that the tier 2 scene has a hell of a lot of players that are kind of really talented, but that haven't been noticed yet. John, what are you laughing about? What are they saying? Give us a translation.
So, Scam apologized to Cuckoo because he said play hard is pretty big-headed.
Okay.
He's just saying that. Sorry, Cuckoo.
Happy birthday.
And there you go. The birthdays are out. There you go.
Well, of course they'd be happy, John. They just, you know, they beat Among Us. Like, it's a big deal to these guys. It should be.
Oh, yeah. Definitely is. At least they give him a tip.
Yeah,
At least
they look up to these guys, you know. Neon Esports, these players, of course they look up to the players in Among Us. It's, you know, beating your senior, I guess you want to call it. It's like the more experienced person. It's got to feel good.
Oh, yeah. It's a huge morale boost. I'd call them more like brothers, because I think a lot of them started around the same time, right? Like, Scam's been in for such a long time. We've seen him bounce roster to roster. So it's always fun.
As you Filipinos would say, beating your lotties, right?
Yeah, exactly. There you go, Mike. Yeah.
See, I'm learning, John. Yeah. I'm getting there. I'll be talking slowly. Filipino in no time.
You'll be speaking it better than me, Mike. Still, these lanes, they're breaking out, and we've got a swap out. Scam is on that off lane with John Uel. They're going for an offensive off lane, and top 4 heroes mid, but not going to stay there for long. So they're dragging Whitemon up top along with Cuckoo. So they're swapping along to match the Ursa, and this should be an interesting one. The Ursa up against Rubik. It's been a while since we've seen that poor Rubik, but you can see the aggression trialing top.
Yeah, they're going to get a kill here. Whitemon has been left alone on that Enchantress. Cuckoo does make his way in. Whitemon trying to get back to his tier 1 tower. He is still alive. The Fairy Fire and Fade Bolt proving to be enough to give Whitemon time. He doesn't exactly have any salves available, but he does have some tangos, and he will be able to stay in the lane.
Again, this is not quite the result you want from the trial lane, but they're eventually going to find some space here. I have to note, the Rubik versus Ursa matchup, it's actually pretty hard for Ursa. Look at that base damage. It's 42 to 46. If Cuckoo gets the Fade Bolt off, ooh, you'd struggle to find those last hits here.
That's a very good point, John. We'll see how far Cuckoo can push this, and more importantly, what kind of build Cuckoo goes for in this core Rubik. Still bot lane. There's a bit of a chase right now onto JG. There's your lion out from Jabs, getting an Earth Spike up. Whitemon there as well on the Enchantress now, just rotating down bot. And they are also running a tri-lane up against the Beastmaster of Neon Esports. So they just want to even out these lanes and make sure that, you know, if our safe lane's going to have a tough time, so is yours.
Yeah, you're just looking to apply that pressure. Of course, they might be able to get a kill down the line. I'd say the spike here is probably level 3 for the line. That's where you really get in more value from the earth spikes. Or you go with a utility build, 1-1-1, and you can start hammering it in. And you can see JG, he's cut off from that creature. He's not finding farm. This is a good start for Savage. He doesn't have to deal with a boar spam. And that's exactly what you want. Still, you look down mid. It is the Yapaj lane up against Abed. So it's a Quap versus the Mag. You can see Yapaj pulling slightly ahead. Again, it's favoring the Quap with a range, with the damage you can pump out, but Abed still has some good last hits. You can still go for the creep waves and kind of go for the farm, but it's going to be a lot more passive for Abed than he'd like, as Yapaj should be able to flex his muscles here.
He should, and he has been. Abed trying his best to stay out of range of Yapaj, but Yapaj is really giving it to Abed now, and he might need to be careful. There's a Shadow Strike out. Yapaj does have a blink, but Abed will Fairy Fire and walk away. Play hard. Did come in to try and see if he can get a toss off, but he will not be able to, and for some reason there's a Lion Courier here. Jabs. Gonna make his way in, and he'll just start shuffling.
Yeah, it's an awkward moment for Abed, though, and Tiny Courier as well on the toss. But
Jabs does manage to get it. The toss was not going to help too much. Yapaj just unable to help the Courier. We'll be alright with it anyway. Play hard, he'll make his way up top. And the side of Among Us, they are going to keep Jabs here for a little bit to try and help out Abed as they do try for the kill now. A nice skewer back on Yapaj, but he will be able to blink away. Play hard was running back in just in case they needed his help.
You've got the supports clumped up here now. The 4-minute runes are going to be up. You know these two sides are not going to let that go for free to either one.
Well, Yapaj needs it desperately, though. Abed doesn't really require it. He wants to deny it, but Yapaj, oh, he's been hexed up. He's in trouble, and he will go down. First blood will be out to Abed, but now they will switch their attention over to Jabs, get somewhat of a trade, but that is a huge first blood for Among Us.
They're happy with that. Abed gets a bit of a bounce back from that lane. It's been a bit of a struggle, but when you get a kill like that, first blood of all things as well, you're in for a fairly good time. You look down bot, it's still pretty messy for Neon. They've been dragging their supports away, so you've got Play Hard standing behind, but Savage is already 5 at 4.5 minutes in. It's another runaway start for Savage. So be careful with how much space you give this guy, because he knows how to use it, and they're already doing a lot of damage on that tier 1.
They are. This is great play out from Among Us. JG going to come back in, but Savage going to get to work now onto the Beastmaster. Whitemon going to come in as well. They'll turn their attention over to Play Hard, who does get the avalanche out, but is almost certainly just going to die. And Savage is still looking through that tree line, trying to spot out JG, and they know where he is. They saw the tree go down. JG, he's going to be trapped in the tree line, still trying to just cut his way through, but it is not going to work out for him. Savage is able to take a double, and here come the tips.
Oh boy. Among Us, though, this is an excellent start. So the tier 1 bot falls. You don't have a trade coming out for Neon. You look at Cuckoo in the off lane. He's actually level 4. He's got 15 last hits. That is 3 times better than JG's start. So our offlane Rubik, it's not, I mean, it's not amazing, right? But it's still better than the Beastmaster. And at this point, I think that's what you're looking for Among Us. So JG, he's got to go to the jungle start. It's not going to be a good time when you've lost that tier 1.
Absolutely not. They might start focusing on that tier 1 mid tower now, Among Us. They do have a very, very nice lead at 2k net worth. They also have the RP up now on Abed. He doesn't have much to follow up with that RP in terms of his own damage, but it won't matter if he has his team around him. Yapaj is behind in levels as well, just about to hit that 6 mark. Does have an Arcane Rune bottled up, so is ready to fight now with the Sonic Wave. But it looks like Among Us are just going to split up for now. They'll continue to take over that Radiant jungle and just cut off the farm supply for Neon. And Savage, of course, will just continue to escalate in terms of farm. He is going for that armlet and will have it up very, very soon.
And that's going to enable him to play faster if he wants. I do love what Neon's doing here, though. So they plant some wards in the opposite jungle. Dire jungle is being tracked. That's going to make it a bit harder to get some stacks up for Abed. And that's one thing to watch out for. I think when we've seen Abed...
Look it up. It's might be on the courier now, and it is indeed. It's just such a slower process than Among Us. Man, they're really not playing games this game number 2, I'll tell you.
No. It's they flick their switch on, serious mode. They're smoked up as well, and try to find more.
Scam.
Oh,
Gonna run
Scam.
straight into the biggest target. Scam doesn't want to die like this, but he gets hexed up by jabs. Can't even enrage. Does go down and they want more. Onto Yopaj. Savage, he'll just taste down Play Hard instead. They know the Tiny's in the tree somewhere. They even get Yopaj's courier now. There's Play Hard. He does get picked off and he will die. 12k net worth lead now for Among Us.
Oh man, yeah. Cuckoo. Every single spell he steals is the exact one he'd want. Just making a lot of work happen with the Rubik, which is finding everything across the
Oh,
map.
they found another. Daniel gonna go down. Godlike now for Abed. He is 9-0-7. Play Hard, he's just laughing, and yeah, what did you expect from Abed? That is the right question to ask.
Yeah, it's looking a bit difficult now, but you know, 12k, this is something that Neon could probably still play into. I think you really have to watch Scam's positioning here. He does have the Yasha. It's going to go into the SNY. They get a nice courier. So that's the Yasha of SavageCon. You can install off the timing into the Manta, so you're buying yourself a little bit more time there. But Among Us, they've been fighting without the RP. It's back up for Abed, so they might just look for a play. Perhaps just wait for the BKB first from him, and it's not going to take too long when you've got him powered.
A lot of farming to be done for Neon. They cannot fight back with this net worth disadvantage, and it does mean they have to sit back and just try and hit creeps. They have a 2% chance of winning this game, apparently, which is, you know, 19 minutes in, that's not going to feel very good for the side of Neon. But I'm sure they are well aware of how behind they are. Just a matter of finding the space to get that farm up. You need these BKBs on your Paj. Scam, I don't even know what he's going to go for next, but he needs something. The Battle Fury Yasha is just not enough. And speaking of BKBs, Abed has one up now on the mag. So suddenly he just doesn't care for your magic damage. They've smoked up. Among Us, they want to go.
Oh,
John Yuel gonna break the smoke there. Savage, he'll just get the drums going from Cuckoo and just rush him. Grimstroke cannot do anything to avoid this. He has no choice but to just die. That is what will happen. At least the rest of the team does survive.
it's you'll cop the gank for your team here. You're pretty happy about that. You do manage to hit another timing for Neon. So there's a blink up and play hard. And this is that was the item that gave the turnaround there, although
Paj gonna catch out Cuckoo, but Jabs is around the corner and Yopaj gonna just back off. He did see Jabs take the invis rune. They had a ward watching that, and he must know Jabs is still chasing him down. JG is around the corner to help on the Beastmaster, just in case anyway, so he'll be right. Get out of range. That will mean Cuckoo does survive on the Rubik.
it's a pretty nice win for Among Us. Not even being able to pick that off and skim.
He'll be alright. Abed goes for the RP, gets two of them, and now brings them back. Delivers them with the finger out. Play Hard trying to get in for the Avalanche. He'll be the third one to go down. Yopaj is trying onto Cuckoo. He'll get one, but Savage is now just going onto that Queen of Pain. Yopaj, he was about to blink out, but Jabs, he had the range with the Earth Spike. It's a 4-for-1 trade. Tips are coming out. Yopaj will give one back to Cuckoo. It's complete domination now from Among Us.
Yeah,
Has been for the last 10 minutes.
It's the Abed delivery service. You know, he goes in, drags them up, and everyone says thank you. Give a nice tip to Abed for that, as Tier 2 gone. 16k lead now, Mike. You were talking about the progress here for Scam. I mean, he's still saving up for the SNY. I thought it was done because he DQ'd it, but it's not done. He needs to finish that first. And they just need to play safe here. Neon, you do not want to force any fights, especially big 5v5. You can maybe find pickoffs, but you cannot take bigger engagements. If you do, you have to play with Play Hard Splink, but that Roche, it's not going to last too long here from Among Us.
Roshan is going. They need to fight ASAP, but they've been scanned out. Roshan still very, very low, but Arbet's going to pop out now. Skem, he'll start the fight, and they are into the pit, but the Aegis does go to Savage. Whitemon does die, and Yopaj is very, very low. He needs to blink out. Savage going to go onto the Ursa now. Tossed in by Cuckoo. Back onto that Ursa. Skem trying to kite him out, just can't. Yopaj back in with the Sonic Wave. No, he doesn't even have it yet. They'll go back onto the Ursa, but Arbet delivering the service once again, straight to Savage. There's your products, and that'll be Savage getting a double kill now as Yopaj trying to run, but he cannot. He will have a blink, but jabs again with the Hex, just in the nick of time. And Arbet, the delivery man, he strikes again, John.
Oh boy, it's
an
getting
express
hard for
service
Neon.
today.
That it is, just on point delivery. It's pizza time, says Habit, and he just hands it in on the dot. Neon, tough spot now. They've still got the Aegis up. Skem, he's been forced to join his team so many times. He just needs to sit back and farm, but now, with no outer towers, there's no safe space. So Neon, we've got to find a way to carve out some vision on Mac, try to toss Skem very far away. Maybe the dire jungle, if he can sneak into it, is somewhere he can play. He does have the SNY up. That's not going to be enough. Not at the 19k deficit. He needs more to start pouring in. He is queuing up the Satanic and the BKB. So once one of those is up, perhaps you have an opportunity there.
Into the high ground, it seems. Among Us, 19k net worth lead. It's a very, very tough kind of high ground to defend right now if you are Neon. They've got to give it a crack. Among Us waiting for that right timing. You've always got to be worried about that RP attempt from Arbet. He's waiting for that right moment. He doesn't want just one. I'm sure he wants multiple. They are remaining split up. That melee barracks, however, is going down. They're going for the soulbind, but now the Hex out from Jabs onto the Tiny. Playhard was trying to get the toss back with the soulbind, but now the skewer back is going to be there on Skem. He's in the middle of nowhere. He's got help coming in, however. There's your Avalanche. There's your Sonic Wave out from Yopaj, hitting everybody but Skem. He is already down. Now the bash is around. That'll be Yopaj going down as well. And the chase is on. Arbet, still with the RP available, does commit it now onto two heroes. Are you kidding me, he says, as they take him out, and the GG is called.